Hi, so my name is Glad Mabele,
Okay.
and I am the founder of Bala Books Creations.
Okay.
I'm originally from Soweto,
Right.
Meadowlands, Zone 2, from where I operate my business. I am 29 years old. I'm an entrepreneur, and I founded the business in Soweto, in my grandmother's home, in a dining room. Um, the name of the company is Bala Books Creations. Bala Books Creations is a child-authored book publishing company.
Okay.
We specialize in the publication of child-authored books. We are a team of a creative team, ranging from different disciplines, some from linguistics, education, creative writing, and we basically school children in aspects of authoring books from the ages of 7. So it's children and adolescents. To date, we've published over 2,000 child-authored books, which are found in traditional print as well as in digital mediums. We work through schools as our channels to market. Through schools, we're able to reach parents, particularly moms, and we're able to who then enroll their children into our program, our book writing programs, where they would then go through an 8 weeks or 12-week and so on program, where they would then learn all about the anthologies of authoring their own books. So I learned about the Township Entrepreneur Awards through a newspaper article, advertisement, I think it was. The GEP there was an advert there about these Township Entrepreneurship Awards, which I thought were very interesting because they were focusing on township entrepreneurs, which is not a norm, unfortunately. And so being, the entrepreneur that I am from a township, and having met the different criteria in terms of age and what they were looking for, I set forth applying for the Township Entrepreneur Awards. The Township Entrepreneur Award process, if I remember all that correctly, is firstly, there's an advert that goes out, and one has to apply within a specific time frame, and the application is really online, and I think it's online and on paper, or you could download the form, and it's really businesses that, questions rather, that speak to your business, your venture, and so forth, from your when you founded the business. I think there's, your business should be in operation for a specific time. A black director should be owning majority percentage of the business. The business should, show traction and cash flow, and projections, and those sort of things that they look for in a business. So I answered those to the best of my ability in terms of my business's performance, and then you then have to, have all the additional supporting material, whether it's videos or it's prospectuses or what have you, anything that can help your application. Package it very nicely, and have it all in there in your envelope, which you would then drop off at one of their drop-off centers, where they have the big, box award, and then you drop it off, and I guess you then wait to hear back from them. So my business before being nominated for the Township Entrepreneurship Awards had already been in operation. We've been in operation for the past 4 years now. We have a permanent staff of 4 people, but we also have freelancing staff of 20 people. So we work a lot with university students, graduates who specialize in different disciplines, who provide training to the children and adolescents who go through our programs. So we try and create employment for the youth as best as we can. The business in itself has had a positive cash flow even prior to the Township Entrepreneurship Awards. But the Township Entrepreneurship Awards really did come in as a good booster for the business, because at the end of the day, any means of sort of allowing the cash flow to flow freely, or to free up some of the other commitments cash-wise is very, very necessary and helpful. In terms of the profits or so, I guess we already have a client base. We've published over 2,000 child-authored books, so we work with many schools around Joburg. And so what this has allowed us to do is to have, sort of like a repository of cash flow to use during the project initiation stages of some of the new projects that we have. So we use that in that way, but it's also allowed us to, to get a new piece of equipment, piece of technology that would help in terms of the business. We're currently interviewing, and we're getting more people on our team. So we're getting about 4 other people on the team. So there's that sort of employment and positivity from the award. So since winning the Township Entrepreneurship Award, we've been able to invest in a piece of technology and equipment that we're using in our business that is helping our business. There's 3 other people, 4 to be exact, but we're still busy with the interviews, who are joining our team. And that's also, as a result of post-award stages, although they are coming in on a part-time and not a full-time basis. But there's also been recognition from the awards, and being a nominee of the awards. I wasn't a winner, but I was a nominee, and according to how they categorize it. So just being a nominee, allowed one to win a cash prize, which has been very handy, and has helped in many, many, many ways in the business. So I think it's been a positive thing through and through. I'm a very disciplined business. I'd say I'm a disciplined entrepreneur, I think is what I should say. In terms of financials, for instance, we've got systems in place. For instance, like with us, we use SAP Business One. That ensures that cash is recorded daily, and that there's discipline around the inflow and outflow of our money, our transactions, and so on. Systems in place for just the employees that are in the business. Everybody knows what they should be doing, what their roles are. That's in place, and it's important that everybody knows what to do, because what we're trying to go for is a business where I'm not in the business so much, but outside the business, and the business is still able to function. So I think as far as the different staff knowing their roles and knowing how to perform their duties, those kind of systems are in place. Quality management is one of the systems we have in place throughout the entire production process, because any book that goes through our publication is a reflection of our business, our brand, which is a reflection really in the sense of me. So, that is very key, that's very important. There's processes in place to take care of that, from the photography that we do, that the pictures are just impeccable, from the storytelling part of view, where we interview, the different characters or the people who are featured in the books. That's also the editorial, the proofreading, the transcriptions. Everything has to be done properly, just right. And I guess also just the look and feel. When you hold a Bala book, you need to know you're holding a Bala book. And so I guess those are the kinds of processes and systems. And post-awards, I think it'll only strengthen that and reinforce that, because it means that now we are being recognized, not just as a township entrepreneur, but as a township business, but as a business that is professional. So we're always looking for ways in which we could, keep the discipline, keep those systems in place. So the perception that government is not doing enough for the township entrepreneurs is actually true for me as a township entrepreneur. I mean, prior to the Township Entrepreneurship Awards, I hadn't really benefited from any programs of this nature. So this was the first program for me in my line of work that's actually recognized me and my business as a township business, and recognized the work we did and really supported it and rallied behind it. Prior to that, I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole government issue, but I think the conditions are not as favorable for entrepreneurs. My business is mainly in the private sector, and that's where it's able to grow from strength to strength. But I would love to, see, more of that government relationship growing. And I think this is why the importance of the Township Entrepreneurship Awards, need to be stressed so much, because it's through programs like this that we start seeing the kind of impact that government can actually have if government were to invest that much in entrepreneurs, and yes, they've got certain, and I don't want to mention names, but certain agencies that would say you apply with them and you get certain grants. I'm yet to hear anybody that's actually benefited from that. I don't know. I'm not really in that space, but I think these kind of award processes are very important. They recognize you. They know that cash flow is a challenge, and for being nominated, you get a cash injection. That is unheard of. This is the first of its kind that I know of, and I think that kind of support, that kind of spend from the government is going towards the right place, and they've got it 100% right when it comes to these awards. I'd like to see many, many other entrepreneurs from the townships take advantage of this, because this is a quick way to be able to get the cash flow you need in order to forge ahead. So kudos to the government for this particular initiative. So it's all actually stated already where we see ourselves in 5 years. So we're in our growth stage, the scaling projection that is in place for our business, and that is really taking the books more digital, so more digital conversions of the books. The books would then be accessible from other sub-Saharan African countries. So, I mean, imagine a child in Zimbabwe being able to access a storybook authored by a child in Soweto, and vice versa. That's where our projection is. And the digital platform will really allow us to scale, like I said, the sub-Saharan continent, and to have more of our publications in the hands of our customers through cell phones or just technological devices, and giving them the access to such African literature. We just acquired a property in Soweto, which is currently, being rezoned and refurbished and all of those things. But that's also our academy that we are building in Soweto. It's a children's book writing academy. I think it's just the first of its kind. Soweto needs such excellence, and I think that's part of our 5-year plan. So this is something that I guess will have a positive impact in my community.